Bon dia. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We are really happy to hosting all of you, hosting this very interesting project, and also all the members of this project. Let me introduce myself. My name is Josep Lledós. I am the director of the IN3. What's that? What's IN3? IN3 is the Internet Interdisciplinary Institute. It's a research center of the Open University in Catalonia. This is one of the leading online universities in the world, or at least we think so. Just a few words about what we are doing here. This research center is doing research on one focus. The focus is knowledge society. We are hosting now 20 different research groups, and so it means that we are dealing with people who are doing research on very, very different fields, very different topics, with very different academic backgrounds. But it's some kind of quite interesting thing, because we are combining these different levels of academic expertise on different levels of also methodological skills, combining them for doing research on knowledge society from a very different perspective. So we have here, we are hosting in this strange building. We are located in this floor and upstairs, and we are hosting research groups about mobile communications, about neuroscience, about cryptography, about political science, about economics, about gender, about migration, about a lot of very different things. And of course, we are open to new initiatives, new research initiatives. And as we are part of an online university, we have also the expertise of organizing on a network basis. It means that we understand research on the basis of cooperation, on the basis of network. It means that we are really open to new people joining us, to new institutions, to joining to other research groups from different research institutions, for trying to together create a new research on knowledge society. So for the reason, we are really happy for hosting you. So thank you for being here. You are really invited to know better our institution. We have a lot of information in the website, and please check it in the website. We have very different. We have two different now. We are three different PhD programs on information and knowledge society, on e-learning, and on network and information technologies. And now there is an open call. We have also programs for international mobility, what we call visiting programs for visiting scholars or visiting researchers. And all our groups are now fighting for getting funding, external funding, as all the groups everywhere. And we are searching for new networks and new opportunities for cooperation. So we are really happy that people who are involved in a research project, international research project, focused on one of our main topics, because also, I'm going to tell it now, also we are interested in the topic of aging. We are happy that you decided to come here to share your knowledge and to discuss about the results of your research with us. Please enjoy your visit. Please enjoy the opportunity of contacting with our researchers. And anything you need, please tell me. Just finally, a few words about aging. We think that in the Institute, we think that one of the key topics, and of course, if you look at the recent call of the Horizon 2020, you can easily identify that the democratic changes is one of the key topic in the future for the for Europe, but not only for Europe. We think that we can approach these challenges from a very different, wide perspective, also from the point of view of knowledge society. It means that from the point of view of our research center, we can provide a different approach. It means combining the expertise on technology, the expertise on law, the expertise on economics, and so we are also doing our small contribution to the debate in Europe about the topic of aging. So for these reasons, please enjoy the seminar, enjoy the discussion, enjoy that you are today in Barcelona, enjoy that you are in the IN3, and I hope that you work really hard today, and we will have the opportunity for cooperating in the future. So thank you so much for being here, and welcome. And congratulations for the project, for this initiative, and also for the committee, the organization committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of my colleague and the university, Jaume Primer, I would like to thank the director and the institute and the Open University the warm welcome for this big opportunity of exploitation of the project, but also to share and be part of this big team of researchers that fight for an inclusion of all parts of society, which are also, of course, very important part of the elderly. I have very good experiences with the Open University of Catalonia. It started being a student in a master, in the Master of Knowledge Society. In fact, this has been the first time I'm in the building, so it gives you the idea of how the technology allows us to learn, to collaborate, to be in a team and network without being in the same place. So it's like technology, it's empowering us a lot more than simple communication or simple sending messages. This project we are going to present is centered on the seniors, but because of the changes that happens in society, of course technology is one of that changes that everybody should take advantage and make the most profit we can from it, instead of considering an inconvenience or a problem, but a challenge. So from my part, thank you very much for this big opportunity. Also for the partners that are also here. From Bulgaria, we are here, the Professor Boyan. Buenos días.
From
City of Helsinki, Cecil, Professor Cecil. From the University Faculty Pedagogical of Czestochowa, Professor Luis, Ursula, and Alina. Thank you very much for coming here. In some part of the workshop, they will also participate, and also our colleagues from Castellón, Professor Vicent Querol, and Pat and Monica, our team that came also here and stay with us. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy today because we stay everybody here, the partners, all companies. Thank you, Isabel, to the Tarragona University, Gabriela of the Institut de l'Envelliment. Thank you for all. I think we have a very good opportunity today for know the EduSenior project, and we can change the different ideas, the different models. We can speak about the seniors inclusion, the seniors in Europe, the different models about the education, and of course we need to speak about the quality of life about the seniors, because it's the theme in the project. I think no is necessary more explanation, but today is a special day for us, because we have all partners, we have more friends. We stay in a walk, is our university also, and we have also the team. And it's very important. Roger and me, we can work, we can travel, we can stay in different projects if we haven't the work, the help about Monica, Maripaz, of course, with Vicente Querol. Thank you so much for travel to here and stay here. And if you will, thank you, Mireia, because Mireia is the next, the link, and thank you so much.
Just 2 words to, again, thank everyone who is here, who are here today. And yes, I'm the link here. It's all the fault of we are together here is Vicente Carol, who sent me an email telling me that you wanted from the EduSenior project to present the results of the project to us. And then I thought that maybe we could make more networking than just coming here and talking to me. So in this, I appreciate those of you who have decided to come here today. People from UOC, people from other universities, like University of Barcelona, people from other projects who took the initiative of saying, okay, maybe we can introduce as well ourselves. So thank you very much for making networking happening. Thank you to you, and thank you to our director to make this possible. So let's start working, maybe, and let's have fun. Wow.
Sí. A Pili podries deixar el de...
Sí, tant.
Perquè així no me podré interrompir.
Ah, vale, espera't. Ja està encès. Ah, ok.
Perfecte.
¿Estás encès o no?
Hola, hola, sí.
Yeah, can you hear them?
Hello, do you hear me? Yes. Fortunately, it's not. I am not used to talk to a microphone, but you must know that everything will be recorded and used against you. So be careful what you say. We are a very closed group, so I hope to make it dynamic. Feel free to interrupt me to say that you disagree or to say anything, so don't worry at all. I will not consider that an offense. This is the structure of our workshop, as I said, very dynamic. Starting from the main concepts or theory, later practical, that's the EduSenior toolkit, and later an example of indicator. Finally, a roundtable. As I said, feel free to interrupt and ask anything during the first, second, and third sessions, but in the fourth, if you have any other kind of question about the educational model of one country, how you have been involved in the project, anything that it's outside the main 3 lines will be included in the roundtable, okay? During the coffees and breaks, also a good moment for us. This is the partnership. As you can see, the coordinators has been the Jaume I University, also partner from University of Helsinki, Università della Libertà from Italy, the Institute for Socialization of Latvia, pedagogical faculty in Czestochowa, network from Bulgaria, and project management from Hungary. As I guess you have seen in the first slide, this project has been co-financed with the help, the creation of the lifelong learning program. I should state that the Commission, the disclaimer says that it's only our opinion, and it's our product, but we are in the framework of their work, of their priorities of the lifelong learning program focused on Grundtvig. It's our main part, the focus to adults. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first block. This is mostly theoretical, but we will, as the theory is easy to find in books, on the internet, in magazines, journals, we will try to make it more appealing, or at least to awake your mind or awake your eyes. It's to go directly to the focus of the basic or the backgrounds of the project. As you can see, this is Europe. You can imagine more than 200 million citizens, and increasing as new regions add. And in all that big country, we are different cultures, different societies, different experiences, countries, regions, different towns, neighborhoods, families, and individuals. We are very different. It's something that enriches us, our diversity. All that quantity of people living in this continent, in all the world, has to face new challenges like technology, globalization, a new society, new networks. It's how we link between the media, between the power, between resources, information, government. That is, of course, the technology. But there is one change, one new thing related to this note that will affect all of us. All of us will be affected. Even all these are, I call them messy megatrends, because it's like a messy of uncontrolled, and trends because they are brought like a train that will go to us, and we have to know how to deal with it. It's a messy megatrends, very big changes. Which is the most important change that will happen to us? Did you know? The age. Everybody will get older, I guess, for sure. So it's something that will happen to all of us. And trust me that from our experience, that is a very big change. It happens in adolescence. The aging is also. And in Europe, it's becoming more and more a problem. The aging of society. Problem?
What do you think?
No, it's not a problem. It's an opportunity. It's a challenge. It's what we are truly convinced. It's a challenge and opportunity. As we can learn to play when we were very young babies, later geometry, maths, playing with our friends, learning to be with our colleagues, and later we learned job skills, law, working in a factory, computers. So we in this time we started to learn about how to be more competitive at work, job skills, and so on. And when we get retired, what happens? it's not a place to wait, not a time to wait once we are retired. The EduSenior project focuses on people that wants to learn because personal purposes, personal motivation, not because jobs, competitiveness. It's not the aim. We put an age that is 65-year-old. Even we know that there are younger people that wants to learn because they like or they wish to do that, and they need, and there are older people that are still working. Anyway, our aim is to be adapted to all that messy megatrends. And even we think that seniors can have some stereotypes, or we think, well, probably it's common. We think that health problems, loneliness, changes in the role of the family, changes in the society or in our neighborhood. It's also a big opportunity because of their big experience and the possibility of being active and providing all they know back to all of us, to the youngest ones. So this is what we aim. Is this? No. It's not job skills, competitiveness, management. It's not our aim to provide that kind of competences. No. We want to provide some competences to be more integrated, more safe, healthy, productive, active. Also to have more perceived control, more rights, social inclusion, more interpersonal relation. What is that? What is that everybody aims and we want? From the youngest, from the eldest, of course. What we want, that is quality of life. So it's not a strange topic. It's not too broad concept. We don't know what we are talking about. It is about all that words in blue and in red, who has been extracted from theoretical and other models of quality of life. In fact, it's defined in Spain that quality of life is the set of conditions that makes a life pleasant and valuable. From this perspective, we can say that quality of life is a subjective component, but also other models of quality of life at the World Health Organization, Charlotte Cummings, that define it as a set of dimensions for evaluation of quality of life, say that it has a very big subjective component. What is important for us? Which dimensions? When? In which life stage? How can we improve them? In the context, the place, the approach. It's a general doubt. Probably you will think that the best way to increase one person's quality of life is to give him money, which is not true, as it has been demonstrated by Cummings. Of course, there are a lot of dimensions. There are too much because each model has its own characteristics. Fortunately, most of them are the same or represent the same idea, fortunately. At least for us, what is quality of life? Something that is valuable for us and, as said before, gives value to our lives. Only as remembering of one thing that I said before. Do you remember I said that money make not us happy? Well, probably you will think about a very poor person that I'm very sure that a lot of money, or at least enough money, will increase their quality of life a lot. And that's true. This is the well-known shallow pyramid of needs. The first is breathing, food, sleep, later security, employment, family. Those are the basic needs. Once that basic needs are covered, as Cummings affirmed, all people has between 70–80% of quality of life. No matter the cultural context, the country, as far as the the cultural living place we live, we are where we are used to live. It's where we feel well with our family or friends or what we do. As far as the basic needs are covered, then your quality of life will be 70–80%. That's what he says. He also says that between that around 70% of people, everybody is in this quality of life zone. So we are, everybody, I mean, if you have your basic needs, but then we have threats. A threat can be a friend that died, or as simple as our son that gets divorced, or that I have an illness or a leg broken, or any kind of, let's say, problem that affects our lives. And that happens that we can regulate it, and we come back very quick to our comfort zone. We require some kind of adaptation. If I had an accident and I have to go with a wheelchair, so I will need a good adaptation. I will go out of the quality of life zone, but with some adaptation I will come back. And the most dangerous is the loss of control. So from Cummings, we should try to increase our protective factors. That makes our skills for coming back as soon as possible to the comfort zone. This is very broad sense, the theory of quality of life that is behind the project. Of course, you can go to the website of the project and you will see the reports of all this. Yeah. The idea now is how we started with all these marvelous ideas of trying to increase quality of life to what happens in practice. How is it linked? How can education impact quality of life? Probably you are aware of adult education or learning in later life, but I would like to focus on the aims of the seniors, the most common aims of senior or adults for learning, and also the institutions, and how this is linked. Firstly, in seniors or adults education, motivated, not for job skills, not for competitiveness. They learn because they want. It's personal motivation. They are not job requirements. Also, they are very heterogeneous, very. And we are not talking about seniors that are disabled or not, or that are in risk or exclusion, immigrants. Not because of that. There are even more diverse. Even with trying to find most common seniors, we found that because of their very long life experience, they are very heterogeneous. Aims, experiences, family context, expectation. Then we have to provide specific pedagogies. When we learn in secondary school maths, it's clear what we want, our teacher wants us to know. Probably solve an equation or basic calculations or more complicated. But how we teach people that is driven because of personal motivations? You should know that the skills that they require are difficult to be taught in four walls room, and only with a paper and taking notes. It's a more active learning, more based on experiencing, and formal, informal, and non-formal learning methodologies. Human skills are the trainers are very important. The human factor here becomes very important. And that makes, sometimes I will call the key, crucial factor for them. Do you have any question? Do you have any experience you want to share with us about senior education? Something you like, you dislike, you think it's different? Any experience?
Yeah.
Thank you. I would like to comment 2 points. The first point is the border. When we talk about senior people, usually 65 years are the magic border, but I think it will change quickly because everybody is going better when they are growing, and even the retirement in most of countries are coming to 70 years. Then it is necessary some time to define it. We are talking about senior people. The second is the term of quality of life or happiness. Sometimes we are able to read in some journal the best cities of the world to live, and the people are better. Normally, the first stop are the northern countries of Europe, but really, when they retired, he came to the south of Spain to live. It's sometimes the variable that this kind of journal use are very, very different. And I would be necessary to discuss previously what are the variables to think about quality of life or happiness, and what is the real border when we begin to talk about senior people. And really the heterogeneity you said is really. I know singers or writer or painter from 80 years that are fantastic people, and they are really senior, or they are people from 20 years that are senior too. This is a true consideration.
You are right. It's difficult to affirm a person that becomes seniors. It's easy to say that a person is retired as soon as they leave the working period. It's also difficult to say when somebody leaves adolescence and starts to become an adult. Probably it's more a state of awareness, and also change of aims. In this context, we say the clue about changing the motivations of learning or living, being work-oriented or changing to more personal motivations. That makes that you can be 50 or you can be 40 or even less, and you will fit in this. But in the project, we had to fix an age.
And we study about the person that more 65 years. So in this case, we work with this person.
65 was the border we were required to put. We tried to avoid that number, or when we make it clear that the purpose of choosing that was the change of personal living situation. Also, when it seems that when one person is during work, of course there are changes in work, technologies, etc., but it becomes more easy adapted. When you get retired, then it's a very important, a crucial change, as if you had another chance during being young. No? You get your first job or any other change. Yeah, we understand that, and we also understand your point about what is quality of life, how other people from other countries go. It's another cultural environment because they feel better, but feel better, happier, with more comfortable. That are also characteristics of quality of life. In fact, a lot of people to other places after they get retired. So it's one of the changes that happens in our life after, let's say, again, 65 years old. Even we know that it's not an exact year. So it's a part of one of the changes. You go to a warmer country, hoping or wishing to be happy, that's not enough. That you will be warmer with happier. It's something you have to learn. Learn to be adapted, learn to be in a different place. So we are in another community, in other culture. So that are the points of the education, what makes in a change. The
you can contribute anything?
my colleagues are free to anybody, but especially yes, it's. I mean, if as he made reference to Finland, for example, no? Well, to the Scandinavian countries.
Perhaps something to Cecil.
Well, I'm Cecil from Finland, and it's so nice to hear about what you said. And that the Finns normally will, no, actually some of them are very happy if they say that they're 65. Yes, we're going to Spain or we're going to Thailand for how many months. But the point is that most of the Finns, as I observe, I live in Finland for 24 years, and well, I will say that it's like the goal that retirement is not a bad thing for Finns. They say that they're very busy, much more than when they were working. And that during the retirement period, they have time to think what they really want. And their goal when they were young, you know, they want to go somewhere, they want to go to opera twice a week, but they cannot do it when they're working. Nights, dark, cold, so they cannot just rush going to swimming, participating this, you know, different programs. But like a lot of my friends, they will spend 3 months in Valencia. Yeah. And they said it's wonderful. As I interviewed 10 of them, they said that the culture is fantastic. I mean, friendly, and the Finns are not. So they love it. Okay, some of them went to Thailand, and they said the food was fantastic, delicious, and the Finnish food are not. So those were their dreams before they retired, that they can taste a delicious food. They are not in the rush, waking up in the morning, dressing up 3 different layer of clothes, which I did yesterday. We have -20 yesterday. So this is like a dream come true for the Finns. You know, they can go to the beach.
But while they are there, they are also happier. Probably they are trying to adapt or trying to suffer.
No, actually, it's not about happy, perhaps. It's satisfied. I call it satisfied.
Satisfied.
Yeah, because nobody comes to work very early
but
morning
you are also
smiling.
Happy. So, but Finnish people are also happy. I mean, they are happy Finnish.
Happy in the sense, at least in our department, we are like how much? 50, more than 50 in the same. But then I didn't see anyone very early morning during the winter with a smiley face. So I cannot say that they are very happy to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, dark, spend the whole day, yes, whole day at work, dark, and then get out 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, dark. So we cannot see light for 4 months. So I cannot say that we're happy, but we're satisfied.
It's a subjective perspective.
Yes.
Probably if I was there so cold, I
yeah,
wouldn't be.
and the food are not very, you know, warm. It's a bit cold too. So during the winter, Christmas, okay. I know in Spain that you're very happy during Christmas. But we are alone inside a house, you know? It's just a matter of family. We don't invite. No, I became like Finn, but it's true. I'm married to a Finn. I work with Finns. So I can say Christmas, it's just 4 of us or 3 of us, my husband, me, and my child. We exchanged gift, 3 of us. I called my friends, Irene. I asked her, how are you guys doing? They said, just 3 of us. So it's like, really, is this the life we dream of? But when we're retired, I know what I'm gonna do. I already have plans. I will go somewhere, do what I wish I could do. And
But
maybe
it's
it will come true.
the ideal situation of after a lifetime working, being able to do what you enjoy.
Yeah.
I'd like to refer to what our colleagues said about the borders and the concept of seniors. What we've seen in practice is as the retirement age is different, at the age of 65 you can be either on the job, but you can also be retired in some countries. And it also depends whether you're a male or female, because the retirement age is different. And I see a lot of rationale about referring to seniors as people who are already retired, and because it's not just about age, because retirement is a major change in life. From tomorrow, you're not on the job. You change your daily routine. You don't get up at 5 o'clock. You don't go to work. So there's a huge change, and also there's stress, because the whole of your environment, not just work environment, changes, including the people you communicate with. For example, my colleagues that are at work are no longer there. We may see each other, but now I go back to the community. I may also change the place where I live, because I work and I work in Barcelona, and I have, let's say, a small flat somewhere, but now I go back to Andalusia, or where I live. There's a change of all the environment. And it's also about stress. And how do you cope with the stress? Now you're on your own, you don't have the colleagues. It's also the whole change of values as well. Like Cecile, I've been dreaming about traveling all of my life, going to Camp Nou and see Barca and things like this. But when you are at work, you spare a lot of such things. Now you have it. So it's about coping with this kind of stress, and also this new kind of challenges that are posed by technology, etc., etc. Because generally retirement goes with some health problems. The decreased mobility people at this age start having, which now comes, as Roger pointed out, the ICT skills are a huge issue nowadays. If I stay at home with some decreased mobility, etc., etc., I need the skills for example, banking, e-payments, etc., even e-government, etc.
All that changes, all that require adaptation.
And this is a huge shift in thinking, because I've been a teaching professional all of my life, and I know what happened with people at my age with the ICT things. Even nowadays, most of my teachers that are my age, they're kind of afraid of technology. What was this there? But it's, as we said, this is another this is now a need, this is now a requirement that, let's say, all the people, senior people, did this kind of technical and ICT skills to make their life easier. So it's the change of needs. It's not for professional purposes now. It's not for your vocation or your job. No, it's for your life. And in some respect, I would say that a lot of these things that we're doing in this kind of educational activities, it's about education, it's social educational activities, it's also about life skills that people will need when they retire. And I would refer to what you said about borders. For me, retirement is the borderline probably, and not whether the age is 63 or 67. Yeah. My pleasure. Another.
Sorry.
Only a few words. I think it's very important. We are all agreed that senior is similar to retirement people, especially from the research point of view. Most of the world are people from more than 65, and probably is very variable kind of people. If we think about retirement people, probably our research will be most consistent than before. I think it can be a good conclusion if we agree in this aspect.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I think that more than age is a psychological thing, because there are people that are not 65 and they are old. But there are people that are 70, 80 and they are very, very active. For example, we have seen in the university in Castelló, Jaume first, and people very active and very, more than the young people, that they want to learn, they're going to be, the insertion, they want to be included in the society. And in this moment, I see that the world has changed a lot, because before we used to play different games, and now everybody is playing with ICT, with new technologies. And also, I'm trying to learn. And I bought a perfect new smartphone, and I can play some tennis. Yes, and something that I have to learn. But small children, 6-year-old, they are very keen in this, and they teach me how to do it. And that's why I think that we decided 65, because we are from different countries, and we think that this age is very important. I'm coming to this. I'm going to this age, and I think that it's very, very important.
Yeah, but we also always base that on personal motivation, retirement status, changing the life, change of routines, very stressful situations that change from one to the other. Can be 65, of course.
Yes, and people that are coming to our institutions, for example, this University of the Third Age in Częstochowa, they are not retired people. They are active people. They got their own business. They work. And sometimes you got 65 years old and they got small children and they have to work. I mean, it's not, I think that this 65 is okay for all the European countries. We find that this should be the age that 65 plus, but it's not a barrier. You can have before, you can be before or later. Thank you.
Thank you. Usually, this is from a, I say usually from a research done in the most common adult education providers focused on retired, and also in our own institutions. We can say that the educational institutions aim to increase the knowledge and skills of senior citizens. That goes from art, history, economy, science, philosophy, etc. No, to increase social competences, that is the skills for being more active, participating in communities, being creative, increase physical, mental, and psychological health. There we have institutions that provide physical health, but from an educational point of view, like aging healthy, which includes also the psychological part of view, like knowing ourselves or knowing what is happening or how we can take more control about what's happening around us. Of course, seniors attend the institutions because they are happier, they enjoy being there, and we try to promote also participation in society, volunteerism, intergenerational learning, etc. All that aims the institutions are what impacts on seniors' quality of life are well-being, happiness, participation. But we truly think that seniors are not only happier when they attend the classroom or do the activities, but when they leave the classroom, they go back to their own families, houses, and spread the skills they have acquired. So this is the very good potential of educational institutions, because everything can be learned. They can take it longer, shorter, probably it will require new pedagogies, new informal learning, new different kinds of environments, but we can impact the quality of life dimensions through increasing social relationships, productivity, perceived control, emotional well-being, all that thanks to educational institutions. One thing clear here is that not all quality of life dimension can be impacted thanks to education, not all. For example, physical health, even somehow it could, physical health, if some person is disabled, probably will need some help at home to be more independent, some kind of help at their own place, transport, security. That kind of help is usually provided by social services, public sectors, etc. But educational institutions can still offer a lot, and that is what we try in the EduSenior project. It's not teaching content, but also competences, skills, and attitudes, which is really a complex socio-educational activity. It requires new pedagogies and models. It's long-term, which makes it difficult to assess, to evaluate, but still it deserves to be evaluated somehow. It's beneficial for learners and for society. And even in case we consider seniors that it only beneficial for them, it's deserved to be done, this kind of activity, we should take into account that having seniors more active, productive, requiring less health services, it's something that impacts our economy now, that is now at present about the economy, so it's a beneficial factor for the economy of a country. So the aim of EduSenior project is to increase the staff and trainers' competences. So we are focusing in the EduSenior project to the institution, because the institution is the one that teaches, trains, provides all the educational environment to the seniors. Okay? And only as example, we wanted to show you a very common model of adult education providers or senior education provider, that is the Senior Citizens University. We are from, this example is from Castellón, on which...
Can explain about Czestochowa?
Yeah, it's an example, but we could take also any other kind of seniors adult or adult education institutions, because they are very common approaches based on the previous slides. In the James I University, Jaume I Universitat, there is the Lifelong Learning Center, which is provided as a socio-educational activity, as said before. In this program, it is Center for Adult Education, we teach formal, non-formal, and informal ways. We teach that models of education because we think that are the best way to impact skills, but also social competences, capacities that are not based on tools or subjects which are like math, like history. That are not our main aim. Even we provide that kind, that is more formal. But also to activate them, to make them more collaborative, more social, more included, more participative. To reach that, we need non-formal and informal methods of education, which it's a kind of education very difficult to evaluate and to provide. As I said, the easiest will be to give a book with history lessons, and that's all. But that's not what we want. The formal structure has 3 years. It's a degree, first, second, and third, and later optional subjects in a structure of postgraduate. We have classes in Castellón also in the rural areas. Mainly topic is humanities, but humanities like psychology, sociology, history, arts, but of course economy, as it seems that nowadays it's in every place, or technology. I mean, it's not the only topic, humanities. Some of them are mandatory, while others are optional, like technology and languages. Are optional because the learners can choose the level that best fits them. As said Einstein, learning is experience, having an experience. Everything else is just information. So we truly think that learning in seniors must be very active. Active learning, that means that it's not a fact of being into classroom, listening, and let's go home because we have gone to the university. It's also making them work. In saying it plainly, working in groups, researching, being creative, creating things. There are extra-academic activities or class, I would say, like classes that are outside the classroom. Volunteer activities, technological, we have blogs, wikis. So even you see here a photo of seniors in a place that seems very touristic. It's not our aim. So we are there because we want to learn. It's not a touristic trip. It's a classroom in the open air. We have take advantage of our context and extra-academic activities.
It's an informal learning.
Very, very informal, but still that provide them with the skills to cope with new skills to cope with what we said before, with group organization, empowerment, creativity. You can see here trekking, for example, trekking, and you can say that is informal learning. Yes, so because it involves being as a group on the countryside, going all together, sharing a moment, and later going back. If you want to go, you are more independent, and you want to be alone, then be at your own. So this is the power of non-formal education, informal and non-formal. Probably are the less visible, but is the most powerful.
In the book, in the project, you can read, we have different themes, and we explain the different models in the education now in Europe for seniors and for adult peoples. I think no it's necessary speak about seniors in the models. Formal model, non-formal, and informal model. And we speak about the pedagogics models and methodologies inside the difference.
In fact, now, as is required more entrepreneurship in institutions and group skills, even for young people, group skills or competences for management. They are applying something that we have thought from the beginning, that is informal learning. And
this model is the same for the younger people, or for adult people, for senior people. Is the same. Formal, non-formal, perhaps it's inside the school, inside the university, but no, it's a formal course, and informal, perhaps with your family, with your friends, in the trekking or in a voluntary activities. I think it's necessary.
You know the difference between them. In informal learning, the learning is not the main target. It's not what we aim. But we get some kind of learning and skills acquirance. It's learning without noticing. It happens in every place, in our family, in our house, or while we chat in doing a coffee.
We continue.
This is an example of progress of students. The blue ones are a degree. It's in. We wanted to put it here because we want to show you one thing that happened. What happened with young students when ends the degree? They go to work, or they finish. They have learned a lot. Well, some students do another degree, or two, or a master, then a PhD, etc. But what happens in seniors? They want to keep learning. In 2002, 2002, students ended the first, second, and third course, and they said, okay, this is a lifelong learning center. Why you are finishing the third course and sending us back home? And we say, well, it's a degree. It's one, second, and third course. We said, let's offer more optional subjects that they can choose from year to year. So it's the red one. And the green one is in rural areas, in the case of Castellan, students in the rural areas. With all that, we make a lot of dissemination research, but also from the point of learners. For example, this is a magazine that learners do, and this is a magazine from the researchers. It's a journal. Try to have in mind that this is not a paper that explains what we do, which it's also, of course, or what learners know. It's a way that learners keep learning, writing, working together to later write, disseminate their knowledge, what they know, and you know the best is that later the knowledge they give to their society, that is to their friends, to their families, goes back to them. It probably can produce more knowledge or satisfaction, self-confidence, etc. This has been the end of this blog. We are going behind of time. Feel free to ask any questions. I would like to know your opinion or what. No. We can stop 5 minutes.
You will break, a little break.
You want a little break to rest? Do you have any question? Have an informal learning period? You know. You know that we have a hashtag. Use it if you wish. It's at your disposal. Yeah.
So I was wondering, when you talk about these later life learning education programs, I guess that they share the classes with the younger students. No. We are talking about the specific classes for all elder people. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The buildings, the canteens, the spaces are the same, but the classes, the subjects are tailor-made. Okay. So they are in the same context, but the subjects are tailor-made.
Okay, because the question I had is regarding those elder people that actually share the classes with the younger people, where I found really interesting the idea of learning not just about the skills you are supposed to acquire from the subjects you are learning, but also the social skills. But I was wondering how, in the case of the new e-learning technologies, how this barrier is broken, in the sense that, okay, I attend to classes where I expect that I will not only learn about the topics, but also this kind of social tools. Mm-hmm. But in order to learn those tools, you are expected to know how to use them already. So I was wondering if you have any kind of approach on this sense.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's a very good idea put the seniors and the youngers in the same class, but I think I need other project or other methodology for combining the different objectives. You know, the younger people say to me, "This is for the exam." Okay, that's one. And the senior people say, "We can speak more about this because I'm interested." It's different objectives. I think we need.
It's difficult to mix those different kinds of interest. Even so, there are seniors that want to learn to use something like, and there is some postgraduate course, but it's small cases, and they attend those kind of courses, but not very frequent.
I know, for example, experience in the Valencia University in the now grant is younger than seniors people, but more seniors people say me I don't like, and more younger people say me I don't like, and others say okay, it's it contributes everybody, is enjoy in the class more, but
what we do have are interdisciplinary activities what are specifically designed for learning together and exchanging knowledge between them, not same classroom.
Perhaps it's different if you think in an open course, in a conference. Okay, here no, it's a problem, but in the formal class with different objectives.
And about your second question, how we start them to use ICT, was the second question, right? We have several steps in that methodology. The first is information, giving them know the possibilities. Second, awareness, which includes theoretical classes about ICT. The third is trying to create a need, which I know that is not polite, because we then say that if they want to see the photos, they have to go to the web. But I want the photos, but you haven't. So creating those needs, and that will be the first steps, because that need is solved through a context they know, because it's very near. That is our website, and from then it started. But
in our case, it's very different. We know, no, because in Castellón we have a plan for inclusion about the seniors, and we advance more. We know other cities, and we know own other seniors, and no, it's the same, of course. In our case, I can explain about the EduSenior, the blogs, the Twitters, all, no? But
it's a thing that we could explain at the end of the session, because we will talk about inclusion if we have time.
Yeah. After we explain.
Some.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah.
Referring to your question, I myself know from practice, we've tried this in classes about languages, getting together seniors and younger people. It's a huge challenge for the tutor, for the trainee, because these are two different type of learners, not just about motivation. But for example, the pace, the tempo you teach younger people is one thing, and the tempo with the older people is different. It's also about this kind of thinking. Senior learners are very difficult when it comes to multitasking, whereas the younger generation is very good at this. And you also have to avoid all kind of technical, etc., jargon, professional jargon you use there, because you know, young people talk with some coinages from other languages. Let's download this. You use the word download in Spanish, yeah? Descargar. Okay. But the other thing is, these two groups, for example, young people are very responsive. They are very quick in responding, whereas older people need some time to think before they answer, let's say, a question. And this may create problems in the classroom because of the different way of responding things. And but there's a huge advantage when you can bring these two groups together when it comes to how the older generation can bring in their expertise and life skills into this process. So combining these two groups is challenging, but it's very interesting. I think there's a lot of benefits for both groups, because this kind of informal type of learning atmosphere and environment and setting you create there can bring in this kind of intergenerational learning in a very informal and beneficial way.
I would like to add about this blended learning, what you're saying. Well, actually in Finland, we tried it one, not the adults and the younger ones, but the foreigner and the Finns. So we separate them, because the senior students, Finnish senior students, have different learning than the foreigner senior students. So what we did, we separated it due to culture. And for example, Muslims and Finns, they can't be in the same room. Unfortunately, who's Muslim? Because they have this, like they have to pray. The men wants to be alone. I mean, all men are in the same classroom and the women are different, separated. And for the Finns, it wouldn't work. Finns are like, equality, so it's equal, but then these foreigners are not. So unfortunately, blended learning for seniors are not gonna work out.
Thank you. Of course, there are cultural differences, as you point out. Our virtual learning works very well in some kinds of students, and some other cultures it could be hard. We are going now to do a short break. We are going to put a poster. You can see the overall process of the project. We are also going to share with you the two main outputs of the project, that is the guide and the toolkit. But you should know that if you like better, you prefer the electronic version. In the project website,
we put in Castellano also.
Yeah, it will be soon in Spanish, but here you can download the PDF or the electronic version of what we are going to show. We know the first section about research is you can find all the process of research and analysis done about pedagogies, models, quality of life, elderly, risk, potentialities, challenges, etc. that we are going also to describe later. Okay, thank you. As I said, those are on the website. Both of them are in the website. You can see this more time. You can keep them. Now it's about the project. Let's talk. The project. As you can see, those are the main products or outcomes of the project. The guide has 7 chapters plus 1 conclusions, which focus on each of the educational aspects we consider important for any educational institutions that want to teach to seniors. So we thought on that book as an introduction for any institution that was to start to provide education to seniors. Think on that. Imagine that you are completely inexperienced and you want to know, okay, what should I take into account when I want to teach to seniors? So this is your introduction. Of course, it can be also used for experienced people to get new ideas, because it has a section at the end of each chapter. There is a section which includes best practices or experiences. So also good for gathering ideas. The smallest one is the toolkit, that has been the most innovative, challenging, and I could say useful, but also more discussable, no? I mean, that people could discuss much about which indicators, how, and I guess that it is because it's an evaluation tool. Evaluation is always a difficult task to do in any institution. Probably you have been evaluated. You were, in fact, evaluated when you graduated, when you started school, and I think that probably happened that you disagree with the teacher when they marked you. It's common. We disagree with the evaluator. But we thought on that tool not only as an accreditation or evaluation tool, but also a way to get information or for recommendations. You see that there are 38 indicators which provide recommendations. And we are going now to talk about how we produced this work. One moment. The methodology, I know that probably it is very small, but it's in the website, it's the process. How we take into account, how we have extracted those 38 indicators. Probably you should ask us how you have considered those indicators and not the other. Probably for you it will be necessary to add more, or you will remove others, but we did that as a research inside our project. Considering the dimensions, the models of quality of life, and the risk and the needs and the potentialities of seniors, we put all together to see how the education can improve those indicators. So we had to mix two areas of knowledge, again, quality of life and social context, risk, potentialities of seniors, and education was in another perspective, which courses, which content, which models could help to improve the quality. The first surveys, I will explain, because probably you don't see from this is the first steps of the research. This were the order on which seniors started what was for their quality of life most important. What was most important for them? As quality of life is a subjective component, has a very high subjective component, is their perception. We consider that this way of knowing their components of quality of life was a good approach. You can see that the most convenient is, or what affects more their quality of life, is physical well-being. That's it, understandable, probably mostly because there any disease or discapacity. Second, psychological. We go to independence. Fourth, interpersonal relations, satisfaction with things I do, motivation and energy, feel included. This is to have a lot of money. We make the question as to have a lot of money, because if it's more than enough. So to have more than enough money was not a priority when taking into account their quality of life. So this was in the previous. I don't know if you coincide with them. It's important for you, your psychological health, your interpersonal relations for your quality of life. What is important for you? Have you thought about that? What you prefer? You would like to be billionaire? Of course we would like, but will that make us happy? Fortunately, there are educational methods to reach all this, to improve interpersonal relations, happiness, capacity of adaptation. Unfortunately, there are others that we cannot do nothing, or very few, through education. But we can work on them. For example, personal emotional development, self-determination, to be productive. It's also a way of being active, being into classroom, doing useful work, and as I said before, working in a magazine. And this crowded graphic you see, sorry, 0, you see that this is a 2. 0 is no has any relation. 0 is it has nothing to do. And 5, it has a lot. For example, I put that classmates, staff, extracurricular activities, teachers, work, homework, those are activities that are done inside an educational institution.
So there are the educational dimensions. What we can observe, what we can change or modify in our own institution, in our own educational institution. We can change the subjects, the way, the competences of the teacher. We can change the staff, the facilitators, the tutors. So on these are the components which we are capable to manage as an institution. And all these colors, you see physical, energy, adaptation, enjoyment, support, personal development, and so on, are quality of life dimensions. So all the senior learners agreed, as you can see that even the average is 3.5, between 4, that all those educational activities or educational actions improve somehow the quality of life, some of these dimensions. Curiously, or probably we can see, as we expected, that what most impacts their quality of life are teachers and classmates, and also these are activities or the educational activities done outside. Like you see, going to museums, doing a cultural trip. Extra-academic are theater, choir, radio, hiking. So the human component becomes very important. We did also a qualitative review on the trainers, on the staff, and we noticed that the skills of the teacher, the staff, are very important. Far more important than in other kind of education, other kind of classrooms. I can give you as an example that the same subject, being even probably a very boring one, like chemical or nuclear energy, and everybody say, oh, that's it, it's boring, it has nothing to do with me, I don't want to attend. But depending on the teacher that can raise interest or can transmit the energy on that, the interest on that subject, then seniors start to enjoy the subject. So in this case, the most important is the staff. Also, it happens with pedagogies. In the book, in the guide, in fact, there is one chapter for pedagogies. That was the one led by Sister Homa, other about content. So we try to see all parts of education, and you can check them in the book. Then the first book that has all these chapters. What we can improve? Why we should try to improve the psychological, the physical, the communication? Why the seniors are important for us? Which challenges? Which risks? How? The models, pedagogy, content. In fact, I would like later, in some slides more, to the partners that I have here to talk about the project itself, or the chapter, or the experience, or what else. At the end of the conference is expected to have a round table in case you have any extra question. But please do not hesitate to do it during our speech. That's because it will also help to know your interest. Again, the second book, again the toolkit, as I said before, you see in the toolkit that the first chapter is about the methodology of evaluation. It's the process of evaluation, also tough thing to apply in anybody, in any institution. The process, how it be done, should be done. But we think that only providing those steps we can ensure that the methodology or that we propose is done correctly. And you can see later the section 3 that includes 7 indicators. Groups. Those are the dimensions, the 7 dimensions on which an institution can target or modify to increase the quality of life of the seniors. There are 7 dimensions, mixed together with, because it's considered as a table with columns and rows. In fact, that table is only for your information. Starting the page 26 and 27, where each educational dimension meets a quality of life dimension. The dimensions, can see them listed, institution, management, pedagogy, courses, activities, staff and trainers, and quality of life dimension, psychological health, resulted in 38 indicators. Probably you would suggest, or you would add one more, or probably you would remove. We tried to do it as general as possible. I mean, we are not focusing on disabled, not in language training, not in intergenerational. Also, intergenerational learning is included if this is a global tool for all the seniors, all activities. It's for educational institutions. Can you think how difficult and challenging has been to arrive here? Can you imagine how difficult has been to go from this to this? And this is what makes, we think makes this very useful. Let me explain. These are concepts, ideas, theories, experiences. You can see here pedagogy. There are trainers, there were managers that were reading this, were still missing something, saying, this is too broad. We are talking about education, models, pedagogies, but then we get this, where we get exact, precise examples, items. And this is, of course, difficult and challenging. Useful for evaluation? Yes, because it's evaluation toolkit, but also useful for information. Have you seen that indicators have justification and also recommendation? Requirements, recommendation. The requirements is how the evaluators should assess the indicator, but the others are the recommendations. Only as an example, this was done in Spain. All institutions did the same, did an evaluation. The first phase of the project was research, the second guide and toolkit production, and the third was testing. So we tested, we applied the evaluation toolkit. This example is an experience that took place from June to September in the Jaume I University. And the information from the feedback, I mean, they provided the manager, staffs, the trainers, some of them with a lot of experience, while others with very few or none, because we wanted to know if it was useful for people without knowledge, but also if the ones that had big experience see that it was useful, has been from positive or very positive. especially in usefulness and novelty. Negative answers, there has been also, we use to improve the toolkit. The results of the feedback from the expert, as you can see, the first ones are interesting and very practical, which we are very proud of, because the first is theoretical, or at least more theoretical, even it has experiences or practices, and the second is more practical. Of course, there has been a lot of opinions which were also useful, because those were useful to improve the toolkit. Now I would like to open speaking to my colleagues in case you want to say something, and also to you all in case you want to ask something about the guide, the toolkit, the process of how we produced, how we tested, or the chapters, or anything. Luis, you will be the first. ¿Está abierto?
Sí. Hello?
No.
Okay. In Poland, may I have the guide? In Poland, we have done the chapter that is called Models. They were involved several researchers, and the most interesting thing is that we had experience from our own students. And first of all was contact with them and ask what they need, what they do expect with our project. And very interesting is that seniors, they don't expect, if they go to the classes, they don't expect new theories, but they would like to be updated. They feel different, they have different needs, and they go most to be together. They want to, they learn together, they do things together. Like, I don't know, it's like the return to the first years of our studies. I remember when I went to the kindergarten and I used to play and I used to learn together. And we did this, first is the formal education. Of course, we give some courses, we give some ICT courses. And but the most important for them is the non-formal and informal education, because they go home, they have they watch on TV and they want to know if this is true or no. They go to internet, they find some information, and they want to see how they can be sure that the information they find in internet is true, is valid or no. For example, if you got headache and you go to the internet and you write headache, you got a lot of possibilities. Yoga, you got, I don't know, some pills, you got many things. And they go and they put this. And this was very interesting for us to prepare the chapter that we brought about formal education, non-formal and informal education. Concerning after the theoretical part, we passed to the practical, that is the toolkit. The toolkit we have translated into Polish language, because no all Poles knows English, and it is very interesting, because the toolkit is not for the students, but for the people that are working with the seniors and for the institutions. And this makes, for example, we have some external reviewers, some people that analyze and give us the feedback. And they said maybe this needs to be improved, and this is very good, and you don't have to do many changes. And it was very interesting because thanks this, I think that in this moment this toolkit is very, very helpful, not only for experts, not only for institutions, but also for teachers, for people that would like also to learn together with the students. Yeah, I mean students, I mean the people coming to the university of the third age education, yes? Okay. If you got any questions, thank you.
Or probably later in open questions to audiences. Just ladies first.
Okay. We started with, we hired a gerontologist at the very beginning. She's like the expert in the field, and we decided that we will have the practical part. I mean, there are two demands, subject demands at that time. So it's the language and the computer learning. So we also
it's institutions took advantage of the own expertise. You also offered courses for immigrants or
we separated, as I said earlier, that we separated it. First we unite them, but it looks like, oh, somebody will say, oh, what are they doing? Oh, somebody's, after 3 hours they will leave and then come back after 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So we separate them, and we get a good result. And the ladies, for the immigrants, we separated the men and the women. And for the language, we separate them too. For the Finns, is the English language. And for the foreigners, it's the Finnish language. How are they going to cope up going to the market or go to the doctor or attending some important meetings and they don't understand anything? And
let's say that what we everybody aim through education, that is inclusion or making them to more independent or self-confident, that they could take more control of their lives, all that which are very, very common for us, or we try to reach each daily life, is something that also can be learned or can be provided. That we put into a framework of calling it quality of life doesn't mean that we make it more broader or more complex, but it's only a framework or the theoretical context. But later it's the daily work.
And at the end, we asked them one by one if how did they feel? Is the quality of life increased or decreases? And they said that it increased. First, we asked what's the priority, what's the highest, and they said it's the social life. I mean, the social life increased. They began to learn the other nationality, because at the end we unite them in the cooking class. It's not really a cooking class, but the cooking seminar. As I said, it's the kitchen psychologist who came there, and we unite them, and they know each other. So the foreigner introduced the food system. I mean, they eat this kind of food and this kind of food, where the Finns thought that, oh, what kind of food was that? Is the ginger eatable or not? So then they learned that, oh, ginger is good. So the contact to each other, it reaches. And what else? They began to understand why these people wants to pray every 3 hours. So now, before they're like a stereotype, they will say, we don't want them. But they began to accept it, like, okay.
Then say culture. That's a way of learning to be tolerant.
Yeah, so they're becoming tolerant to each other. In fact, we have this tolerance day in Finland. So, and then after submitting it, we have an assessment of the book, and we invited 2 or was it 3 different institutes. Tampere University, Amiedo, which is like a polytechnic school, whether in their opinion what kind of book is this, and our own team. And they have already the experience because they're teaching this kind of thing. But yeah, it was positive. There were a few only that it's too long. They said that nobody would dare to read the whole book, except only the part of it, like the table of contents, perhaps, and then go directly.
Anybody can read what feels more interesting. That's the advantage for a pedagogist. Probably this chapter about pedagogy will be not necessary, but then interesting to know which is the social perception or situation or risk of the elderly. And for a gerontologist, that could be too easy or something already known, while the content or the approach or the capacities or skills of the staff then becomes more important. And for a learner, I mean for a trainer, somebody that is starting to work in educational institutions, probably all the book can be useful. And the toolkit covers some experiences. For example, what you said about learning in the classrooms about the perception of the food or integration, or that was also a kind of promoting or increasing the awareness of other cultures.
And we try
which
to
is the aim, also is focused as one indicator in the toolkit.
Yeah. And the most successful stage that we notice is that, I mean, this integration of Finns and other nationalities. So at that particular class where the immigrants, there were 13 different nationalities. So it's quite a good. For us, it's like, okay, we're learning something here that the other people don't want to sit in the classroom. They want doing by learning by doing. So
it's thank you. It happens that in a lot of educational institutions there is an implicit knowledge. There is a knowledge and expertise that the staff or the trainers, the management has. So it's the transfer. These products allow that transfer of knowledge. Probably you are listening or you have experience on adult education and you think that, of course, it's good to have intergenerational classroom because they provide a lot of advantages. But it's also good to know in which situation it fits better, how they can be tuned, and other possibilities. So all that are in the toolkit as a broad offer of different actions, and in the guide as the basement or the background.
Thank you. I'll make a few points regarding the research we made about the content, the pedagogy, etc., etc. Now, generally, as we've mentioned before, there's different types of provision in terms of mode of delivery. We have the formal courses, we have the non-formal and informal learning, and of course the mixture of the above. I've come to a very interesting fact about the region in France regarding informal learning and how informal learning can become very important even for a job skill. Years ago, and it was done by a project awarded by the European Commission as one of the 10 best projects. generally people from the formal educational system, they don't, they have some kind of suspicion about all types of informal and even non-formal learning, saying we're the ones, the courses should be credit courses, etc., etc. In the formal educational settings, end of story. So we are the ones who are doing this, and what do you mean by informal? The example that was given at this meeting organized by the European Commission about this project, one example was about a lady who has been taking care of her mother in hospital with some kind of, can't remember now what kind of disease was this, but generally she was taking care of her mother in hospital and then outside hospital at home, learning about the disease her mother had, learning about what kind of care you have to provide for your relatives, etc., etc., reading a lot about this kind of disease and this type of diseases, the whole group. And at some point, this woman who was out of job, they gave her some kind of test, an interview to test her knowledge and skills about how to do this, and they came to the conclusion that there should be some kind of a certificate or award for the skills now you have as a low-level health professional, sanitary or whatever, assistant. So that's a typical example of how you can accumulate through practice and through personal needs some kind of knowledge and skills that can be coming from the informal settings, how they can be certified that you can provide this kind of help and, let's say, act as a social assistant to people with a similar disease. So generally the courses we find throughout Europe through these researches are more or less the same. The practice in Europe is more or less the same. In some countries it's a lot more developed, especially through this University of Third Age, which is generally a new concept in the East. It's only Poland, I think, and now in the Czech Republic, but still not popular in the Baltics or in the south of Europe, in the ex-Eastern Bloc countries. But generally it's the right direction there. So these courses are provided as participatory or non-participatory or some kind of mixture, and blended learning becomes more and more popular through face-to-face and online. And this is a key issue because with some seniors, this kind of decreased mobility or the distances you have to travel if you have to take part in a course can be a problem. In terms of the outcomes of these courses, of course there are credit courses mainly in the formal settings, but generally this target group, the seniors, they are not interested in having some credits. Of course a certificate as a kind of a award, self-esteem, self-confidence, etc., is something they would love to have, but courses does have credits as certification through testing, etc., is not interesting. Non-credit courses are very popular and become more popular about learning art, humanity, music, languages, computers, crafts. And there's one more trend now in terms of delivery to go to the so-called discussion-based courses, because seniors have a lot of experience from life, from their vocations, etc. and teaching them in this kind of old-fashioned way where in this teacher-centered learning, it doesn't work there at all. So this is a big challenge for a teacher or tutor if you can get in and bring in the individual expertise of these people so they can become your co-teachers, etc., because these people have lots and huge experience on many occasions. And there's always somebody in the group that knows more than you. So the discussion groups are a very interesting form, of course. Discussion groups are more motivating for them because they take more active part in the whole process of teaching and learning. Well, we've noticed generally in Europe that the good practices are all these courses to be planned courses with specific learning outcomes and assessment records and monitoring the whole performance. The focus is on the collaborative learning, self-conducted and situated learning. One basic approach would be problem solving. Problem solving, that's a great task for them to have. And at that age, people like this problem solving approach to learning. The other good thing about the practices in Europe that its most training programs take into consideration the specific needs of the learners, because as we were saying before, the needs of the seniors are rather different from the needs of, let's say, a younger person who's on the job or he's at the university studying for making a career, etc., etc. Another part of the good practices is how do you adapt the content of the training materials to fit and refer to the special needs of the senior learners. The other thing is seniors would prefer practical subjects, not theory, as we've already said.
Well, there are a lot of approaches, as you say, theoretical, practical, but sometimes they like the theoretical, but always, like you said, trying to raise their knowledge or experience, life experience.
Yeah. Well, studies have shown that they would prefer the practical part where they can bring in their own needs. Because if it's a theoretical, a lecture type of something, it may not exactly refer to my personal needs. But when you have this practical type of things, you can bring in your own needs and state your own demands.
But for example, that kind of classroom on which the teacher leads the discussion and learners can provide their own expertise, as you said, it is something we think that is appropriate, but also is demonstrated to acquire skills related to grow discussion and positive critical opinion, which is a skill and competence needed in any age, of course, during training for the job and for when the elderly. So good points. It's as I said before, there are a lot of pedagogies, activities, environments, places that we think that are convenient, but we don't know how to transfer or to explain or to prove. And at least this project will be the first step, because I am sure that after reading the indicators, probably you would suggest to change some of them. You will say, oh, this is not convenient. Or always think that it's for general seniors, not for disabled, not specific groups, but trying to make it general.
So from here, it's a big challenge for the educational institution how to prepare the trainers for this specific target group, because you need a little bit difference in approaches, in the mode of delivery of the teaching content, etc., etc. And from here, going to the guide, to the toolkit and the criteria we have there, what we've noticed in the testing is if I represent an institution that takes certain interest in establishing this kind of pattern, the educational pattern, teaching seniors, not adults, teaching seniors, this guide and the toolkit can serve me if I have decided to set up this kind of educational pattern. Because from there, from the guide, I see, okay, I may have guesses and prompts from there what kind of courses I can do, how to do them in a good way. So it's not just an evaluation toolkit for existing institution, but even for a starting institution that can provide you with a lot of ideas and prompts how to go on with it.
Yeah, thank you, Boya. In fact, the evaluation tool, it was aimed to be used for accreditation. That's true, that it is a very difficult thing to say, to ensure that a specific educational institution is appropriate or not for adult learners to increase the quality of life. So first aim, which I said it's too risky, was also adapted for to know any weaknesses or potentialities in an institution. As you see, it can be also used as an internal evaluation, not only to be used by an external evaluator that accreditates your capacity, but also for managers, only to see in which areas your institutions can work better. So it will be to increase the quality. I don't know if it happened to you while you were reading. Has it helped to you to get new ideas about how can be quality of life improved in seniors? So it's also a way to discover the relation between all those factors. As we have a list that could be used for training, it can be also useful for other purposes like study visit, when checking the skills, potentialities, the more transferable activities one institution carries out. So when we have a very big or small institution, thanks to those lists, we know more or less where to focus. And finally, is that this toolkit goes from very strategic point of view to very operational. You can see that each indicator has requirements that are very operational. It does not explain pedagogy as a whole, but explains, do you apply or you promote the constructive pedagogy, the model? Do you create a course where learners can share, so on, etc. So it's very operational, from the top strategy to the operational. The questions that I would like to know from you are how, if you feel stressed when you feel evaluated, because usually when somebody evaluates us, it appears a negative perception. It's stressful. Even I don't want to be evaluated at all. It can be also useful. In fact, it's one way to improve. Do you think that an evaluation tool can increase the practitioner effectiveness, like a learning tool to get ideas? Is it useful for you to get more, to know the advantages or disadvantages, the weaknesses or strengths of your institution? All that is what we think are good from a toolkit for evaluation, not only that it's useful for accreditation, which is only a very small part. And of course, our conclusions is that we only propose. So we don't have a solution, of course. We try in the project, we show here the main output, the product, but during the first phases there has been research. Also useful, it has been published papers and in conferences to know, to be aware of that relation that is between education and quality of life. Everybody agrees that education can be, quality of life can be impacted thanks to education. But how? In which way? How we show to the decision maker or the politician that it's a good way, not only for job, not only for competitiveness, to be more educated, to learn more. Of course, feel free to use the guide on the toolkit to deliver to anybody you consider, and visit the website. And don't hesitate to do any questions or comments about the products. You can also ask about the project itself. I mean, how we work on it, the methodology, or to any partner. We would like to do a short break. Later, colleagues will present other project related to this, and also your experiences that could be as being researchers, learners, practitioners, trainers, evaluators, or even part of any informal learning life experience. We will continue in some minutes. Thank you. A tool and can be reached in some months, and digital inclusion is a fact of years, and not inside the classroom, but in the classmates, families, friends, and so on. I would like to thank you all your participation, and hope it has been interesting for you. Feel free to contact, use the Facebook page. We have the website, a Twitter hashtag, a mail, and network with us. Help us to reach, to greater impact and the benefits of learning, reach more population. We would like also to help you and to make fruitful synergy in all this big ship of education and aging, and hope you had a great time here in Barcelona. Thank you very much.